hugely, hugely important. So I think for the future, today's decision is going to be reviewed and discussed and will become a major, major part of the ongoing saga of Health Canada and medical users' rights and the court system and so on. So hugely important day. I think everyone's participation in this has been phenomenal. Your participation in this has been extremely important. I know the number of people here after the decision had tears in their eyes. It's, I think,
well,
good.
No, that's well said. That, you're a great speaker. One last question. We'll just close this out with this question. The judge today made the decision, or really emphasized the importance of research. Now, we all know that we want to do research, and with the federal government of Canada having pulled the research fund, the judge doesn't really, I don't think, or may not have been alert to the fact that that money's been pulled. However, the call for research and the call for a model that might look like compassion clubs, how do you feel about the research part of it? Because I think that I found that a little exciting, because that's going to be right into the decision.
Yeah, I mean, she absolutely cited the research as a fundamental issue for what they were doing there. Philippe Lucas' work with MAPS and its subsequent uptake or potential uptake, I understand it, by Health Canada, I think is significant. I think it's proof of concept. I think the clubs are doing or trying to do what is necessary to show the medical need, and the medical use is important. On the other hand, it seems that Health Canada has actually done very little in this regard. As she noted, their provision of one cannabis strain is likely inadequate and unreasonable, and very few people have found that that's adequate. She also noted that 80% of the people who have a federal MMAR are not using PPS. They're going into their own means of doing this, whether they're growing themselves or getting other people to do it for them. So, I think today's decision speaks to a significant failure of the MMAR, and great decision, and we'll go from here.
There you have it, folks. That's Johntson, another medical user without a federal license as of yet, seeking to get one at the court decision today. Well known online, activist through and through. Thanks for coming on, Johntson.
Thank you, Jason.
Cheers.
Thank you for your participation in the court case. Absolutely fantastic.
Anytime, my friend. Thank you. Constitutional Challenge. I'm standing here with Mr. Magnuson. Many of you know from the Freedom Tour. I'll put his banner across the bottom here. He'll be going out on to what is your fourth tour?
Fourth tour coming up at the end of June. Yeah.
Fourth tour, end of June. We'll do an update on that for sure. But we are here about the VIX trial today. Now I'd like Neil to fill us in on his, because of course you're going to hear lots of me later. But I want to hear what Neil has to say about today's trial in relation to the strange roller coaster that we've seen in the courtroom that turned out a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I think this is a really good day. This is a monumental day. This is another big chunk out of that house of cards built on lies to protect interests of corporations and keep people from accessing natural health products, and especially cannabis, which is probably the best natural health product that's out there, and yet it's the one that's prohibited. And it doesn't make any sense unless you go back and look at the history of it, and then you get to find out. But the courts, thankfully, this is now I think the fifth decision in a row that's chipping away at this medical access regime that's been set in place by our federal government to restrict the access of people to cannabis as medicine. The illusion is to try to protect Canadian society from this drug marijuana, where in fact we live in a world full of alcohol and tobacco, and the pharmaceutical drugs are far, far more deadly and harmful and subjecting Canadians to more health concerns than is the cannabis issue at all. So the courts are making slowly the right decisions on this. In this case, they have legitimized compassion clubs. They've legitimized the suppliers of compassion clubs, those people that would like to grow for sick people, and by giving an absolute discharge in a very large production and research operation, they have in fact said that the compassion clubs are a legitimate, viable way for sick Canadians to access the medicine that they need that is superior to the MMAR regulations. And I just recommend that everybody go out there and find or start a compassion club, join and become part of this movement to allow Canadians to get that which they need. And we're not talking about people that are just sick, dying in wheelchairs. We're talking about this medicine that is such an amazing pain reliever, stress reliever, anger management tool, sleep aid, and so much more without those inherent side effects that come from what the medical community would have us use. So it's a way safer, saner way to handle your medical concerns, and we're getting some relief through the courts. Still not the complete, striking down of the CDSA, but we're on our way there, and this has got a big chunk of it.
And yes, with two regulations struck down, and of course, when I say the roller coaster ride, well, how do you feel about the fact that Matt had to go through kind of this roller coaster, and then the judge, she convicted him. She said, you might be looking at 15 years, and then it's like, but I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, it really was a roller coaster ride in there, and I think there was good reasons for why it went like that. I came into this thinking the only thing certain was an appeal.